Right, we are back on a bank and you join us on a new ticket. It's a new syndicate water for us in the Cotswolds and it looks absolutely mega, doesn't it, mate?
It does indeed. We've been stood in the car park sheltering under the van door for a little while, but yeah, we've seen a couple show, but being a recce session, we need to do a lap of the lake, find the fish, because obviously location is key. So, don the Polaroids and get for a work wonder, mate.
Let's go for a walk.
Let's do it.
Just imagine owning that house, just walking through your gate and then some rods down the bottom. Yeah. Put into spot, come out and spotting out some bait every day. Oh, look at that little gap there. Oh! It's just every little swim, every gap is just so carpy. Just look how overgrown this place is. So you've got this path around the outside, the lake is somewhere down in there. You have got a road on the left hand side, but just look how overgrown it is. Absolutely lush. We thought the last lake we went to in the Cotswolds was overgrown, but this is a different kettle of fish. Overgrown, big bit of water, over 30 acres. There's between 100 150 fish in here. Some absolute mega Cotswold carp as well. There's some real nice fish in this lake. Now there's the old road. It's quite noisy this side. What a place. You can't even see the water now. Just absolutely thick with our foliage. What a place. Right, now we are back at the van. We've done a lap of the lake and I got absolutely soaked, which was great. Hugh didn't know because he had a brolly.
Yeah, absolutely switched on this kid, mate. Could see it was going to rain, so brought the brolly.
Fair play, but we've seen the odd show around the lake, but to be honest, most of the shows have actually been in the car park when we first got here. So we've decided we're going to fish at the car park, I think. You reckon that's a good plan?
Yeah, I think so, mate. It's now 8:15 in the evening, so it's time's ticking on a little bit, so I think drop in there for tonight and reassess in the morning if we have to. Definitely.
So let's get the cat in the van, let's get the homes up, get some rods out, see if we can catch a carp.
Yeah, catch up with you soon.
It's 9:15. It's absolutely pouring down with rain. We've managed to get the homes up. Everything's soaked. I'm absolutely soaked. Feet are drenched from the rain on the ground. But it's obviously really mild and warm, so I don't really want to be wearing waders and all that sort of stuff. I've got a old pair of Crocs there because I'm probably going to have to wade out if I do get a fish because it's shallow really close in. Haven't found any spots yet. Haven't really done a lot, so kind of debating what I'm going to do. But it's looking pretty grim out there and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. Oh, to top that as well, these swims are on a massive slope. So I've had to jack up the legs on the bottom end as high as I can just to try and get some kind of level bed. But anyway, we're fishing, well, nearly. We're halfway there.
Right, well, we've got absolutely no idea how this is going to go. garlic baguette or garlic bread on the barbecue. I'll come back to you and let you know how it turns out. Whack it on.
Whack it on.
See what happens. So the garlic. Well then, bit of a post-barbecue update for you then. So we've had a few burgers, some beautiful garlic bread. Who would have known garlic bread works so well on a barbecue? But do you want to
get on it?
Yeah, get on them, that's a fact. Learned something from this video, garlic bread works on a barbecue. Anyway, we're waffling. What we've done, we've got the rods out. Unfortunately, it was absolutely tipping down with rain, so we couldn't bring any of that because we just couldn't risk getting the cameras that wet. But tactics-wise, you want to tell them in brief what we're going to eat, what we've been doing?
Basically, we've seen a few fish showing and we've kind of had a lead around in that area. It's pretty weedy, so we've not really been able to present anything there, but we've come back a bit shorter and we're only fishing sort of max about 13 wraps. And it actually comes off of the back of the weed bed into a lovely smooth silty area. In some places it's really firm, and we've kind of had a little bit of a lead around, found some like sort of nicer spots amongst that sort of softer clear ground, and then sort of just scattered some rods along it, put a little bit of bait over it with a spod, kept it nice and simple really, just fishing for a bite, aren't we, essentially?
Yeah, absolutely mate, we're learning the lake, aren't we? So it's about midnight now. Like I say, we just finished our tea. I think it'll probably be time to get in the bag soon, mate. So I guess we'll either see you in the night with a lovely carp, or at least I will. And yeah, otherwise we'll see you in the morning, slurping down a coffee, feeling a bit sorry for ourselves.
Yeah, see you in the morning.
More likely. We're going to bag one tonight.
I am.
Oh, are you? Right. Well, good morning. Unfortunately, a pretty quiet night. I say pretty because I did have an absolutely ripping take shortly after speaking to you at the barbecue, and yeah, picking up onto the rod, it felt extremely sort of graty and strange, and then sort of came free. So I got a feeling it was probably a trailer from sort of how it felt playing it. Didn't discharge the lead. The sort of shrink tubing on the hook shank hadn't changed or anything like that, so I don't think it was a pickup. But yeah, it got my heart racing, that's for certain. But my rechucking the night was not quite up to my standards that I would like, so I'm just rechucking the left hand rod sort of first thing, and yeah, fingers crossed we can get this back out on the money, and we'll have them all fishing nice and accurate again. I think now it's time for a coffee.
Hugh's giving you a bit of an update this morning. He's redone the rod. I actually had an absolute one toner that got me out of the bag this morning. Come flying out thinking, here we go, first bite on the new water, and it was a swan, so brilliant, happy days. But we have seen a few fish, though, haven't we, mate?
Yeah, we have. Similar sort of area to yesterday when we got here, so we're still feeling pretty confident, to be fair. And I think sort of plan of action is to sit on our hands for a little while, see if anything materialises, and fingers crossed one of these lovely carp are up for a bit of a breakfast, mate. So that's the plan of action, isn't it? Definitely,
mate. And on breakfast, I forgot my gas, so you can get some breakfast on the go.
So you've forgotten your gas, your bivvy.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Well,
driver and cooker.
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling
basically.
me? Right. Okay.
So, go and get some breakfast cooked.
Yeah. All right.
Bacon and eggs, mate. Too.
Bake. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Nice one.
Absolute whopper.
Right then, so Hugh's cooked us a banging breakfast. We've had bacon and egg sarnies with a bit of tomato sauce, absolutely banging, nice crispy bacon, definitely was the one. Now, I obviously had that occurrence with the swan this morning on the middle rod, so I know that one's been out there fishing fine, but I haven't touched the other two rods, so I'm going to bring in the left and right and just check the hook bait, see if they've had any attentions from the crayfish, put on some fresh hook baits, and I'm also going to put a couple of spods out over each rod and just freshen the spots up, because we've seen a few fish showing this morning, and I think there's a chance that they might have been sort of looking around the area, so hopefully that fresh bit of bait, fresh scent trail in the water will hopefully draw those fish in and get them looking and maybe produce a bite. I'm going to hand you over to Hugh, who's also going to redo his rods, and then he's also going to talk through the bait that we've been using, because we've both been using pretty much the same mix. So I'm going to hand him over to he's going to take over and obviously talk through sort of the bait situation and what we've been doing on that side of things. So anyway, let's get those rods reeled in, get some fresh hook baits on, and let's see if we can get ourselves a bite. Right, so if we have a look at these hook baits then, so this was the match the hatch bug pop-up, and as you can see that has been crayed. They've had a good go at that, so although there's still a bit of a pop-up there, that's probably a bit more of a wafter, I reckon, that at the moment, but there was enough there for a bite. But you can see they've properly eaten that away and clawed away at it, and they have had a good bit of that bait. So that one would have been fishing, obviously not perfectly, but it would have potentially still got a bite, but clearly they've been on it. Now on the other rod, I've decided to fish a bottom bait, and this is actually a hardened hook bait from DNA, and you can see the difference. So although there's some claw marks on that top bit of the bait there, where they've obviously been clawing away and having a go at it, that bait is still near enough perfect and ready for a bite. So it just shows using those hardened hook baits does actually make quite a big difference. This is obviously a bottom bait, it's a sort of spinner sort of combination, and it just turns over and absolutely nails them. And so a combination of that little spinner section and having that hook bait, a big heavy bait, that's an 18 miller, having it pulled around claw style so that the tubing is holding it sort of towards the edge of the shank of the hook, that allows it to turn and flip and just dig in really, really quickly, so it absolutely nails them. So very, very good rig, really cool sort of setup for fishing a bottom bait, and it means I can utilize that sort of Ronnie section that I have a lot of confidence in, but actually utilizing it in a bottom bait form. On the rig end, I'm actually just literally attaching it directly to the swivel. There's no loop there because I don't need the movement. I need it to be sort of a bit more stiffer, so obviously it acts and flips in the way that it needs to, but that swivel does just give it that little bit of extra movement so that it can rotate if it needs to and flip over and catch hold. So it's a really simple rig, but actually really effective. So yeah, get on the hard hookers, because that's done a good job there of avoiding the craze. Bonk. She's fishing. Right hand rod going out. Oh, that felt like that hit a fish on the way down then. I felt like I had a double bump. I get bounced off some on the way down. Well, there we go then. All 3 rods are now back fishing, fresh hook baits, ready for a bite. Just need to top up a bit of bait on the spots and we're good to go. Right then, I thought I'd just show you the little setup that I'm going to be slinging out there then. So I am going to stick one rod a little bit longer where I've just seen the show, so just thought we'd talk you through it quickly first. So using a helicopter setup on a lead-free leader, and then I've got probably 8 or 9 inches of sort of fluorocarbon boom down to a little Ronnie setup and 2 fake bits of corn. That'll flutter down lovely, sit in a sort of pop-up presentation, and yeah, set over any weed beds or anything like that that I might be landing it into. So yeah, that's the setup and the rig I've been using on this session. Right then, bait for this session then, so we're both using quite a similar mix. So 12mm bug, I've been soaking mine in some chili hemp oil and also some of the liver extract. So that was soaking for about sort of 48 hours for the session. To that I've added some of the Maxi Cray mix and then also a good helping of corn. So Shaun hasn't put any corn in it, so a slight deviation between our 2 mixes, but other than that it's exactly the same. So I'm going to spot a little bit more of this out into the lake and hopefully we can entice a bite before we need to go home. Well, that is the end of the session then. Unfortunately, it is a blank on the fishing front. That said though, we have definitely learned a lot from the session. It's been really nice coming to a new venue and we've really enjoyed it. And I think there's a lot of food for thought going forward for our next session on there, isn't there, mate? Yeah, absolutely. And we spoke to an old boy as such who was finishing out his session this morning. He's been fishing here a couple of years, had a few fish out, but hasn't had anything this year at all. So it's obviously going to be a tricky little venue. Like I say, it's a large pit. Unknown stock really, maybe 150 fish, no one really knows. So I think it's going to be, like I say, a new adventure for us and also for you. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, got something out of it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us on the social media shown down at the bottom of the screen. And I guess until next time, get out on the bank, be lucky, and we'll see you in the next video.